Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new video in a series that hopefully I'll make more of, where I recommend you guys underrated anime that I think need a bit more attention. I will give you 3 to 5 anime every single month of a couple of anime that I don't ever see get talked about, either very little or basically not at all, that I think are really hidden gems within the anime community that I'd like to give more light. Whether it's just they didn't get enough attention within the particular season that they were in, or they're oldies that people have just kind of forgotten about with the travelage of time, I am here to talk about them because that's kind of the point of this channel. Not to just talk about the big stuff, but to talk about the small stuff that maybe some people are dying for a video on. Today I have 3 anime all set up for our very first video, so hopefully you'll like our recommendations and hopefully you'll check some of them out. Now with that being said, let's stop the blabbering that I usually do and let's talk about the anime that we have on docket for today. Now, if you've been a fan of this channel for a while now, you would definitely know that I talk about Airmaster in some shorts, and I have definitely brought it up in many shorts before. Hell, I think across both YouTube and TikTok, Airmaster is still one of my most popular shorts talked about. Or at the very least, a short that still gets a bit of traction. But I finally wanted to talk about it in a proper video, and hopefully by talking about it, I give more of you guys an actual reason to go ahead and check it out. Airmaster is an anime that came out in 2003, made by Toei Animations. It is the story of a high school girl who moves to a new town and gets all runged up into a whole underground fighting rink where she goes and she challenges very unique and different type of fighters, all accompanied by her group of girlfriends from high school. And when I mean a group of girlfriends, I don't mean like actual girlfriends. Except one, technically, they're not actually dating, but they definitely are a love interest. It is the big boobad girl that is super clumsy and fawns all over her. So, you know, that's that character. But even her, they're all lovable and enjoyable characters, and characters that are very unique in their own right. Now, if you're looking for an anime that is pure just fighting and throwing a fist and running the ones, this is that perfect anime. It has a little bit of that crazy insanity. If you're a Baki or Kenga Ashura fan, I think you'll really like it. It definitely leads a lot more comedic goofy than the intense, insane, just batshit things that happen in both of those other shows. But Airmaster is definitely a rung down from them. Don't get me wrong, just because it can't match the intense energy of Baki or Kenga Ashura does not mean that Airmaster doesn't have its own insanity in its own right. The ideas are definitely not super wild, but they definitely make you question of how a fighting style like this could be appropriate in a underground rink. But then you also realize, hey, it's an underground ring of fighting, so you know, any type of fighting would be any type of fighting. But they do a good job in setting up everything and making everything entertaining, even with some stakes sometimes. And on top of that, it is definitely an anime that does not take itself seriously, and I appreciate it for that reason, because even though it doesn't take itself seriously, it knows what it is and it leans heavily into that, which just makes everything so much better. Now, originally, when I watched this all the way back in like 2010, I thought that the anime, which comes out with, like I said, 25 to 27 episodes, was just it. That's all that it was, because especially with the way that it ends, it feels kind of final in a sense for that reason. But no, there is actually a manga out there, and the anime only covers about a little over half. So there is an extra half to a story that is actually properly finished. So if you have to, or if you want to, you actually have a choice of either reading the manga all the way through or watching the anime and then picking up on the manga. If you do, however, go down the anime to manga route, just remember that the first 25 episodes are the manga episodes that have been adapted, and the last very 2 episodes of the anime are anime only. So what happens in those 2 episodes doesn't happen in the manga. All in all though, yes, Airmaster definitely had to be my very first recommendation to the audience. It is the anime that I've talked in passing so much about because I just love it for how insane it is. It gave me my whole love for insanity in the anime in the first place, right next to side Bobobo. I was watching both of these at the same time, which is insane to think about. But also, it's just an overall fun show to watch. The action is really good, the characters are actually lovable, and it's just a nice show to have if you want something that's a one-season or whatever. And like I said, it has a manga, so you're not just left with no content after. You got a little bit more that you can consume. And I think Air Masters is just criminally underrated, doesn't get the love that it deserves, and is barely talked about. Hell, even looking up click for it, I could barely find anything. Thank God there are special sites that allow me to actually download the videos that I need to in order to show you the clips that are appropriate. Somewhat. I'm not very good when it comes to that. All of this long-windedness to say, this is definitely an anime you should go check out. Next on our list of recommendations for this month is going to be Tasokare Hotel, and this is an anime that I picked up this year while watching my weekly winter stuff all the way back in early 2025. This is a 12-episode anime that is made by the studio PRA, and at first this is one of those studios I thought I've never come across something, but I have in fact came across something from PRA. This is the same studio that did Bikini Warriors, and Bikini Warriors is, well, exactly what you think it is. It is an anime where they play on the trope of warriors playing on very skimpy clothing as their armor, and they seem to just fail and get removed. It's the most ecchi of all ecchis. It's borderline not even an ecchi, yet sometimes softcore. But we are not here today to talk about that anime Bikini Warriors. We are here today to talk about Tasokare Hotel. But the main character of this anime is Neko. Yes, that's unironically one of her names. And she ends up getting brutally murdered on the side of the road and ends up going to this purgatory area where there is all dry land and there is a hotel, where it is designed to help people find out how they died and if their death led to them being dead or actually still alive, and whether they are able to pass on or they have the chance to actually go back into the earth and change their ways. Now, I will admit, I went into this anime with zero expectations whatsoever. I didn't even think about it that much, as I sat there being like, well, this is an anime that's definitely going to be nothing but filler, but I picked it out on a whim because it looked kind of interesting. Lo and behold, Tasokare Hotel was a better watch than I thought it was going to be. Now, I will be honest, it doesn't explore death and the aspect of looking back at your own life as deeply as I would like it to go, but it does enough to keep me entertained and does explore some interesting scenarios with the various guests that actually go through the hotel, on top of having a very engaging overarching plot that does keep me quite satisfied. And the hotel guest stories can somewhat be, lower and better compared to which one you're talking about, but I wouldn't say any of them are bad. All of them are at least entertaining, they know the plot of what they're trying to do, and they engage in that very, very well. In a story like this, I wasn't expecting it to actually flesh out the lore of the world and how everything works to the extent that it did. Even if it was just like a little bit, I was nice actually getting some explanation for how things work. Usually anime like this will kind of leave it ambiguous or kind of give some half-ass reason, but they actually give some concrete and straightforward answers. And if I had a nickel for every time I picked a random anime that's surrounded around the hotel, and I didn't really much think about it, I just kind of picked it out at random because I needed something to fill out the season, only for it to be one of the better anime that I watched, and an anime I would actually encourage people to go out and watch because it actually does some pretty cool things, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice. Anyways, I do highly recommend Tasokare Hotel. It is a 12-episode anime, so you could go ahead and just knock it out in one night pretty easily. But I will say, there also is a visual novel, and it is based on if there are some visual novel people who enjoy that aspect of interaction a lot more. I know there are a lot of people, since I've been looking into it, that do prefer the visual novel aspects to its anime counterparts, so I thought I'd just throw it in there just to let you know, hey, there's a little visual novel you guys can digest there if you like to. And our final anime that we are going to be recommending for this month is Two Perfect Saint, or rather its full name, Two Perfect Saint, Tossed Aside by My Fiancé and Sold to Another Kingdom. And no, I am not going to be reading the full title. This is another anime that I ended up finding in 2025, and it's made by Studio Troika, who are known for anime such as Idolish 7, All No Zero, and my personal favorite from the studio, Atari, My Dear Moment, which we will be talking about on this channel at some point. I originally picked up Two Perfect Saints because it gave me the similar vibe as My Happy Memories, personally one of my favorite romance animes that I have ever watched of all time, and so I thought I was going to get something similar with Two Perfect Saints, and I kind of sort of did in the premise of it is a girl who is not treated very well, who has given up and found a better life. In that aspect, sure. But in terms of the dramatic melancholy that followed My Happy Marriage, no, this one is more of the happy-go-lucky, but not so happy-go-lucky of the actual situation with that. I will say, one thing that Two Perfect Saints does actually do very well, that I wish My Happy Marriage did a bit more, is actually showing the parallels of her past life with everybody else and how they're reacting, and then her current life, which was very enjoyable to go through because we got one of the best characters in the show, in my personal opinion, in her little sister Maya. And from there we do get two different perspectives, where Ophelia, the main character of the show, is sent to the kingdom and is finally appreciated for being the strongest saint in both of the kingdoms and being able to save anybody that she can. And Maya, realizing all of the stuff that's happened that led her sister to leaving and her going on a revenge plot that gives me and the rest of the audience a very satisfying end to everybody who screwed over Ophelia. Which, I do want to highlight the sister a little bit. I thought Maya was going to be a character that definitely was going to end up playing along with everything and act dumb and not really understand what's going on. But no, she actually quickly figured out what's going on, hatches her own revenge plot, and actually holds her own as her own type of saint. And I really appreciated that because the aspect of Maya could have really tanked or saved the show. And I'm glad Maya wasn't just the oblivious, doesn't know what's happening, and very confused little sister who constantly needs saving. And even though I said that this show wasn't as dramatically melancholy as My Happy Marriage, it still got to me, as I definitely got teary-eyed at multiple moments of people trying to tell Ophelia, hey, you could go ahead and you can be happy. You can be appreciated for who you are, and there's no reason to hide that smile. Because the whole point of the show is that she never smiled, but she's always treated badly. And well, the outcome is interesting. I'll let you guys figure that out for the end. I will say, I ain't gonna lie, I was damn near confused by the last couple of episodes of where the anime went, but I will say they do stick the landing a bit. This is also an anime that has only 12 episodes in one season, so you can crank that out super quick. So if you're looking for a really quick pick-me-up of an anime as well, this is a perfect recommendation for you and any other romance fans out there who are looking for a little bit of a good feeling. And also for those who like a little bit of an interesting revenge plot. There you have it, folks. That is the 3 recommendations that I'm giving you for October of 2025. Let me know if there's any anime that you would love me to talk about in this recommendation corner. I'd love to keep this series going along, so if you do have anything, leave it in the comments below. And if you want more recommendations every month, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and put on notifications. Who knows, if I can finally be monetized on this channel and actually make a profit off of this, I probably would do this every week and just sit down and watch a different anime for all you guys to recommend me. But that does not mean I am not appreciated of every single one of you who have supported me thus far in this journey and in everything that I do. So that is a big thank you to all of you. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think of all the anime I recommended this month, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I'm like so gay.